Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. All right. So it's Monday, about noon here in the U.S. Pacific time, or sorry, Eastern time. I don't live in the Pacific Coast anymore. I used to. Good to see everyone. Good to see you, Mr. David. We are gonna motor right along here. Haven't gotten a whole lot of work done on this during the weekend, so I'm back in it today. And if you've been following along, you'll notice that this is the first time we've had any markings on taxiways. So I've started to throw on they call it taxiway edge marking. There's an edge line, and then there's these little hash marks. I've got them going all the way up through there, because that's where they end. They're really only on this side of the airport, so this is a nice long one right here. Every single one of these is so I paint the edge line, and then I come and paint the individual hash lines. There is an object, sorry, there is a painted line texture that has the edge line and the little zipper kind of hash with it, but it doesn't really work right, so I just put it all in manually, all custom like, as I am wanting to do, as that is kind of my style, is putting things in manually. So there's that. We got it all the way along down Taxiway Echo up into the Samaritan's Purse ramp where it stops, and then I'll do this section of it right here. That's almost the end of where the edge marking comes in for the taxiway. The only other spot where there's any taxiway edge marking is right over here. It's hard to see, but it's in there. There's no hash marking, but there is edge marking. So I've been spending some time this morning on the Microsoft SDK developer. Sorry, what would we call this specifically? This is the Microsoft Flight Simulator Dev Support Forum, talking about a couple of issues that I noticed. So this morning I decided, you know what, I want to actually try this out in the sim. So I spent a little while trying to figure out how to finally build the package and get the folder structure correct and everything, which I think I've kind of done, and get all the needed elements to be able to actually produce it, build the package so that I end up with something I can put in my community folder. So that's done, and so a little issue came up. Something that I mean, every time I do a new step, I'm learning something new. So that's a pretty cool thing to go through right now. But unfortunately, we came across a shortcoming in the simulator. So there was a problem, and you'll see it pretty quickly, I think, when I'm going to tell you what it is as well. But so one of the key features that I like about Microsoft SDK, the Microsoft Flight Simulator Scenery Development Kit, and specifically the Scenery Designer, is your ability to colorize the ramp textures, the aprons, and I think you can do it with polygon objects also. So to colorize textures is a pretty cool tool, and you can see we've used it not too extremely thoroughly, but I've definitely used it. And that we've got three different colors of taxiway here, 1, 2, 3, and then there's another different color here. There's going to be more colors coming soon. This runway is a different color than the taxiway is. We've got concrete over, this ramp right here uses 2 different colors, alternated. We've got cement, and we've got 2 different colors here. This one's a little paler, this one's a little more orange, and so things like that. We've got a lot of different colors that we're using on the surfaces, so it's nice that the SDK and the scenery editor have the ability to change the colors ever so slightly while keeping the same texture. So all the PBR materials and everything underlying remain the same. It's just the color of it changes just a little bit. So, or a lot of it, really, if you want. So that's a really cool feature that I like a lot. So here's the problem that I've come up against, I run into. think we'll see it rather quickly here. Let's go ahead and... Did I finish all those hashes? I did, right? I finished all those marks all the way down. Yeah. I'll finish the infield here in the next step. But watch what happens. Watch this runway color. Okay, look at the color of the runway. And now I'm going to close the project. And watch what happens. Look at it, just changed. The color of the runway just changed. So, what good is the coloration feature in the scenery editor if as soon as you load the actual scenery, the color's going to change? So this is actually the cool thing about what's going on here is that I've actually... Oh, something weird just happened. I've actually got the package loaded in the community folder now, so it's not updating. It would not have updated with what I just did. You have to exit the sim to do that. But anyway, this is this now. So my own scenery is the one that I'm loading in before I open the scenery editor, which means you're actually going to see the product of my work here a little bit. These are all my lines, my runways, and everything like that. So it's a buildable project. It's an importable project, at least to its current progress. So yeah, so all of these surfaces, each and every one that I've colorized is way darker now in the sim than it was when I originally than when I did it in the scenery editor. And look, we got this color here. This is very dark. This is a very strange color. Actually, I haven't. Oh, that's been changed. I changed that in the scenery editor already. I'll talk more about that. So I'll do it again here. We'll load it up and watch this instant change in the surfaces. Boom! They all just got way lighter, way brighter. So what's going on here? I have no idea. I have no idea. So I've done some searching on the dev support site for the development support site for Flight Simulator, their official site, and I've come across a posting that says Apron's discrepancy between the final package and the scenery editor. So this is a known problem, and that they apparently seem to think that they will have fixed for Scenery Update 10, which, if you've been paying any attention, which I don't blame you if you haven't, nobody really cares about these things except for me, I guess, or for people who do the work. But there are not, I think the scenery, the Sim Update 10 is not scheduled to come out until August 23rd, I think it said. So there's that. Yeah, so yeah, this is a known issue that's been out for a little while, and I've noticed it too, that there's a lot of weird color things happening in the sim when you load sceneries in. So it loads everything in the sim, like right now it loads it just fine, right? But as soon as I go close, boom, come on. Oh, we have to load it, like, come on. It's unexpected behavior. Here it comes. Sometimes you just gotta zoom out a little bit, come back in. Yeah, that's way darker, and that does not look good at all. So this is disappointing. Could be a shader thing. So another month plus that we have to wait until this is fixed. If it's fixed at all. We'll see if it's fixed, because they've said they've fixed things in the past that haven't been fixed. So yeah, a little bit of an issue. Why is it moving so much? Look at it. Look how much it's rotating. It's so weird how it does this. Anyway, so if I sent you the package to put in your community folder right now, this is what it would look like. And so I think it looks pretty good. It looks pretty much exactly the same as it does in the actual scenery editor, but except for the wrong color of the textures for the surfaces. So that's a pretty big deal if it persists. And and we'll just have to hope that it gets fixed for Scenery Update 10. Now, I did post a question in this article that they had about whether this was something that could be tested in Scenery Update or the Sim Update 10 beta that's currently out, or if it's something that we have to wait for an actual like new version of the SDK to come out till we can really play with it, till it actually fixes it. So we'll see. I mean, we're talking about the difference here is a published package. So the published package not displaying properly means that, I think, to me, suggests there's something wrong in the actual sim, not the SDK. So hopefully, you may be experiencing this a lot of the airports that you fly into as well, where textures just seem really dark. I don't know. Maybe not. Especially the AI processed ones that have custom ground scenery textures and stuff are not going to be probably having that problem. Those by custom ground, I mean they created the actual texture themselves. The developers did in like Photoshop or something like that. Whereas I just use the default textures that are provided to us and change the color of them. So that's kind of where we're at. That's the problem. So, but at least you know that this is not the scenery editor that I'm in. I'm not in. I mean, I have dev mode turned on, but I'm not in it. I'm not actually using it right now. This is all just what the scenery package shows. So it's working, and there's a lot of work to go still, but I think it still looks nice. It's been a good amount of progress done so far. So anyway, I've been working on this taxiway, these taxiway lines here, trying to get them done, and this is what it looks like in the actual package that I compiled. But I'm going to go ahead and open up Scenery Editor here, and we'll get back to work on this. I can see how much brighter it gets. My goodness. I also, before we get diving into the taxiway stuff, I have made this runway, I've changed this runway up a little bit, 5 right, the one that we're looking at, and that it's now a transparent runway except for the tire gum marks. And you can definitely see the ghost images of the photo scenery underneath blending with the actual default ones. And this is a problem that I've noticed, is that it likes to put these lines way down runway. I think it's more accurately placed, but in real life they're kind of back a little bit. So that'll be that's a prime candidate for something that I will have to fix. And then center lines, of course, get way off. This one starts here, and it's not even really centered all that well. So there actually might be some runway, some tweaking of the runway angle that I might have to do. Although it seems to be pretty good down the rest of the runway. Yeah, I mean, it's just off vertically. It's not off horizontally. Laterally, I should say. The center lines, that is. So yeah, very subtle difference. It's just what the biggest difference that if there is any to be seen is that you'll actually see these lines underneath now. I thought I painted this across already, but I guess not. Maybe in the previous version, which I accidentally deleted, I did that, I think. And so now you can actually see stuff from blending in from the images below, including lighting and stuff. So there will be, it makes it look a little bit more realistic. And so very, very pleased with that so far. Pretty easy change to make, and I'll just have to do a bunch of markings to get everything looking pristine, the way I like it, in the right spot. Roblox Noob, hello. It's a nice name. I like that. That's a pretty fun name there. So there we are. That's kind of the status of where the airport is right now. Let's see, I've got a lot more of these lines put in than what was in the packaged version, which I pushed through earlier. and I've got it to the point where I just have to click it and it's done in like 1 second. It's a very very small package, because all it is an XML file with a bunch of lat longs to define all of these little elements that I put on. There's no added textures or models or anything like that. Not yet. So, thank you everybody for coming in and checking us out. We've got a few people here in the room currently, so if you are here to please do stop in and say hello in the chat, or at least hit the like button and consider subscribing, as we're going to be doing a whole lot of work in the Microsoft Flight Simulator Scenery Editor for the foreseeable future. Alright, so let's turn the runway surface. Let's just hide the runway, basically, and this taxiway as well. Let's see, taxiway, hotel. Don't need light rows, shoulder lines. That's what I'm working in. Alright, so let's select that there, and I'm going to do the line here first. So go up to objects, painted line, and I'm looking for edge line solid. Add, there it is, and left control, left click. Now this is a curved element, so see it has its own curve, which if you draw lines, the sim under its current configuration will kind of try to meet it'll try to make its own curve. It won't meet what's underneath necessarily, so I'm kind of having to draw the curve in just to sort of match, as I've had to do in the past with say the edges of the taxiway surface. So it's a very similar process. You're just sort of going along, following a curve, and letting the sim kind of fill in the gaps. You don't it's a little more forgiving because it's not just going to draw a straight line between every little node that you make. Like I said, it is going to curve it a little bit, so you don't have to be super tight together with your nodes to make it look like a curve. You can do a little bit better in terms of spacing them out. So fewer nodes necessary leads to better loading time, I'm hoping. Like I said, this package is not large because of the fact that it's just an XML file with a bunch of text in it. So that is going to perform pretty well on anybody's computer. Then it just comes down to all the default models and stuff like that that'll be loaded. So hopefully I'm not too far from at least a preliminary kind of a alpha test product that I can publish for you, that I can at least make available to you guys. I'm not going to publish it in its current state or anywhere near its current state until it's kind of done. I'm trying to go between the hash marks and basically for these longer stretches, the straight stretches, and just only really put a dot in where the hash marks would be. Keeps it nice and straight. And we get through these slightly tighter turns. And see, so it actually follows the curve quite nicely. Now I should be able to go this whole stretch here. And there's going to be some times where, like, doing something like this, where you'll see on taxiways especially, lines, because of the way the photos are taken, there's creases in the photos, which cause creases in lines. There's a big difference here in terms of quality. It's like this photo is crap, and they don't line up like that. So that's not something that happens in the real world. That's just a shortcoming of the process of stitching all of these photos together. There are going to be some things that just simply don't line up right. There's a good example, is actually kind of moves around quite a bit. So when I draw this line, there's going to be parts underneath that kind of stick out like that. And there's not going to be a whole lot I can do about that. I can try to cover it up, but actually, when you actually show the actual concrete underneath it, or the asphalt underneath it, it doesn't really show up that much, and not sure. Some imperfection is actually a nice thing, I think, and having the taxiway surface be slightly opaque to show what's underneath, I think actually makes it look like it's something that may have been, you know, the airport doesn't look pristine because it shouldn't. It should look like it's had things painted on, taken off, stuff like that. Which, if you look on Google Maps, all of these taxiway hash marks have been removed. At least they've, and you don't just remove paint on these surfaces. So it is, they're kind of like sandblasted away, which means there's still sort of a ghosted image of them still sitting there. You can sort of see where the paint used to be, but you don't necessarily see the color of the paint. So it's kind of an interesting thing, which I don't think I'm gonna go to the length of trying to recreate here. But I've been noticing, looking at some of the like pro scenery developers' sceneries, that anytime they seem to use sort of a custom taxiway custom ground textures, I'll say, and which they get very detailed in the stuff that they can show, and they have a bunch of different layers that they apply, which have a lot of different, like, there's grime, there's wear, there's tire wear on taxiways and stuff like that, dust, cracks, things like that. So there's a whole lot more put into it, and it's all PBR, and I don't know anything about texturing, so I am not quite ready to use that kind of stuff yet, but I might get into that at some point. The problem with it is that the methods that are used to do these things and to keep, the memory usage down for all these textures, and not there's a big effort to reuse textures when you do the long stretch of surfaces like this, so you start to see the same cracks over and over again, and it gets really repetitive looking. All right, a couple new people. We got Clan PG3D. That's right. It's noon at my place, midnight at yours. How nice. Yeah. And we're just doing some line painting, which is really the easy stuff. It's kind of like forming taxiways around pictures and tracing and stuff. It's really easy to do. So I'm going to rename this so I can differentiate. This is another shoulder edge, I'm going to call it. And then when we get to the painted lines, go the yellow, wide yellow, and it's very obvious what those are. So click down here on this one so that the next one's all going to be painted lines, painted lines, painted lines. There gets to be a bunch of them. Scrolling for days. All right. So there we go. Add one. Left control, left click. Just gonna. Well, that wasn't right. Okay, this edge line solid is still shown. So let's go to wide yellow. There it goes. Okay, so make sure the next one is of the proper type. So I'm going outside in because now look what happens. There's something weird when you do this longer painted line that has the curves. When I click the first vertice, it wants to kind of snap this one to something else, which is okay. But I'm just going to hit enter to close out the thing, and then next thing you know, it just makes it straight again. So it puts it in the right spot. So that's not anything to freak out about. Starting outside in because I want to make sure that I get it tucked underneath the line. Underneath the edge line there. It's a little easier to do and see when you're kind of extending a line across versus just starting a random vertice point doesn't seem as easy when you're doing it this way. I feel like I get a better vantage point when I start out here. Go in. There it goes. Just doing some of the easy stuff here. Still a whole lot of work to do elsewhere with lighting, which I'm going to try to get to here eventually. And today is another day of just needing to put in the hours to kind of grind out a lot of this, and I know it's been a few days since I've streamed anything, so I want to make sure you guys are able to see what's going on and give you a little update on the fact that I'm able to actually produce a package now. So one step closer to giving everybody access to something to try. So aside from just the surfaces at this airport, I'm going to be redoing the ILS approach, the approaches and the SIDS and the stars and whatnot. So I'm going to have to learn how to program those. And it's not too difficult. It's mostly just kind of filling in fixes and angles and stuff. So it seems. But I'll start placing the approach, figuring out how to align the approach lights correctly, or as best I can. Some of them, in real life, we have a non-standard approach light system for runway 5 right. And that's because of, I'll show you when we get back, when we get done with all this here. There's a road, Market Street, that sits behind the approach end of runway 5 right. That makes it kind of difficult to properly place at the appropriate distances all of the approach light elements. So that's not just a sim thing, that's a real life thing. So they're not spaced properly, and I think it's also not as long as it's supposed to be. So because of that, it is non-standard, and I think it technically meets the specifications for a category 2 runway, but there are like special requirements that have to be met for it to actually, for pilots to be able to, they have to have like, there's like a NOTAM about it, or there's something about it in the AFD that changes the minimums for the approach or something, so it's not perfect. I got it. It's weird. I can't explain it. I don't understand all that technical junk. I don't know what the standards are. I don't care what the standards are for approaches. I just know that that one's non-standard. Category 2 usually will have an ALSAF system, but that runway, because of the road being behind it, does not have enough lights. It's just a Mauser system. It's not an ALSAF system. So that's one of the reasons it's not. It's like a category 2 with an asterisk. So we have 2 category 2 runways and 1 category 3 runway here. Which I guess is technically 3 category 2 runways and 1 category 1 runway. And we have one of the parallel runways is only category 1. And then the intersecting runway only has an ILS on one side, and it's category 1 as well. And that just affects the minima, which is like how low you can fly in foggy conditions, and before having to go on to execute a missed approach. All right, so that section is done with painting. Not too difficult, right? Just sort of tedious work. So a little more than half of this runway done. Abby, hello, welcome to the stream. David is back. Appreciate the likes that we've gotten so far. 111 views already, my goodness. I find that Americans don't seem to want to watch this stuff as much, and it's more of an international following, but that's fine with me. Anybody can create airports, which is the point of my whole doing all of this. Just want everybody to know that you too can create and edit your local airport, your home airport, some airport that you know really well. It's a good one to do. And it's not like you have to have access to any sort of classified information or anything like that. Google is a good resource. Now, I recently learned, however, that in some countries, and like the ones that I can make an example for are European. Some European countries for airports, they'll like blur them out on Google, especially military bases. And that doesn't surprise me, especially considering I also learned recently that European air traffic control is not something that you can legally like listen to unless you specifically need it. So live ATC exists in the US, but it's not everywhere because it's illegal to record these things in some countries. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but it's interesting that we have all these free resources, and there's a really nice, if you guys are interested in getting involved with some of this kind of stuff, there's a really nice video series here on YouTube by an American guy who's doing a lot of sort of more advanced parts of the scenery developing process, but his video series is basically called it's like Microsoft Flight Simulators, MFSS, scenery design using nothing but free resources, or using free resources or something like that, which is really cool. So he's into modeling and texturing right now of his own custom stuff. So he's using a lot of Blender and a lot of I think he just Crit or something like that. I think he just used supposed to be like a free version of sort of an open source version of Photoshop, I think it is, which I've never heard of really before, but he uses it, and then it's drawing his own custom textures for buildings and stuff. So that's a pretty cool idea. Me, am I a real pilot? I am a real pilot. I'm just a private pilot in real life. Well, I am a real life air traffic controller, and I know it's a little harder to find the about me information on a YouTube channel than it is on a Twitch channel, but so this is actually the airport that I work at as an air traffic controller in real life. KGSO, Greensboro, Piedmont Triad International Airport in North Carolina. Very well acquainted with everything on this airport. And really my discerning eye stems from a lot of the times you'll see me kind of, when I'm trying to decide if I think something looks right, so I kind of run home to what I know. I go hover right above the control tower here and get to what looks like about the right altitude and look out the window and go into inspector mode and say, like, is that what it looks like? That's kind of what it looks like when I'm at work. And so yeah, this sim is really good at allowing you to recreate some pretty realistic scenery. So I'm pretty happy with how that's going so far. So it's going well. It's a fun sim to develop it. Oh, what is going on here? Why is there a missing? Something has gone awry. This often happens. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that. Alright, now it worked. Sometimes when you're dragging stuff around, it creates like a new... Oh, what has happened here? Oh, okay, well. Something got messed up. here, and then we'll do add point. No. Alright, well this is going to be a pain. Actually, let's undo that. Rename this shoulder edge so I can take it and move it up the hierarchy here to be up here with the other shoulder edge elements. I'm going to click on it and add a new one. I'm basically going to start from the same spot. Just keep drawing. There we go. Maybe I just didn't finish it. Maybe I just stopped right there. I think I did. Oh, the wrong button. Let's see. Wrong button on the keypad. So I'm doing this with all the taxiway apron surfaces off so that it's easier to see down to the line underneath it. The one that I'm actually trying to copy here. Oh, David's making a lo-fi hip-hop song. Nice. That will fit pretty well with what you're listening to right now. It's definitely the name of this whole... These are all lo-fi songs, as you have pretty much figured out, I'm sure. Lo-fi is pretty cool, I guess. I'll admit I don't exactly understand why it exists, but it's a cool sound. Oh, did it again. Getting some weird behavior here. There we go. Not whites. Wide, yellow, add. So yeah, I guess my method is moved from try to use as many of the automatic features as possible when it comes to drawing things in the sim to by that I mean let the sim draw as many things as I can to me trying to draw as many things as I can because the sim doesn't make it look very good. You know, if you want to do default, if you want to use default stuff, you got to use default spacing and everything in terms of edge lines and stuff like that. So when I can just paint them on kind of by hand to define where they go, and that's really what spurred this whole project. Is just taxiway lights being in the middle of taxiways and stuff, and clearly not being in the right spot. Jetways being at terminals just being placed right on top of parking spots and not moving properly because of it. Wrong taxiway names for the AI air traffic control, built-in air traffic control system and taxi system. And so that kind of stuff is just like, wow, that starts to pile up after a while. And then runways that don't line up properly with the scenery and things like that. It's like you look at enough of these and be like, man, this is just silly. So that's why Scenery Gateway and X-Plane is so popular, is because you get people that with more knowledge and more passion to go through and actually spend the time creating these airports with the default elements, or not elements, but using default assets like I am right now to really custom make an airport that is very highly accurate. So that's what I'm doing. We don't have a Scenery Gateway yet. They say they're working on one. So we'll see how that ends up going, but this should hopefully be something that could be submitted to that. So I'm trying I don't know how to really use custom assets, and I'm not looking forward to it, so. Modeling buildings sounds pretty fun, but that would make it a non-default airport, and therefore probably not really eligible for any sort of gateway. Lost my entire Florida studio project, and with that, the lo-fi song I worked on for 2 days. I'm sorry, man. That is a major bummer when you lose a bunch of stuff you've been working on. I know, because I lost this whole airport that I was working on. But I think it's actually okay, because the product that I've come up with since then is much better. This is a new generation of techniques here, which they're not super like high quality or like cutting edge or anything. I think using my own custom elements and what's the word I used? Assets would probably, if I really knew how to do them, probably yield better results, but I don't know how to do them, and so I'm starting from here. This is a starting point. I guess I can kind of learn the other elements of these things later and come back and add them in. Right now I'm trying to get the first version of this done. Remember, it's important to keep the last line that you painted selected. You hit enter, and then it stays selected before you go and click the next add button, so that it adds the next object right underneath the last one you did. Keeps it in the same folder and everything. If you end up deselecting everything completely, it just does it in the root folder, which is like, if you're trying to keep a nice organized hierarchy, is death to you, because it's going to be several layers higher in just a random place that might be kind of hard to find. You might not know where exactly to look for it. So like I just unclicked, and now anything else would go right into the You Might Try It international folder, or outside of the folder structure completely. Look how many stinking lines there are here. My goodness gracious. That would be awesome. Oh, buy the fruity version. $99. Yeah. Ugh. Pay to save, huh? That is ridiculous. Speaking of save, let's save. Always important to save. Almost down to the end. And we'll do the other side of Taxiway Echo. Up to the end there, and this side will be done with those edge markings at least. The center lines, those are still yet to come. And let's see, I'll have to redo all of these markings. The edge lines for all the runway markings I'll put in custom. None of them are custom on this runway yet. Actually, just the threshold bars here, which you can see is 3 separate lines. I'll just make that into an apron and do all aprons for these things, except for the center lines. I'll just use the wide yellow painted line because that is actually the right size. Is this a person? Might be somebody walking around or standing there. Interesting. I think the runway's actually closed in the photo on this one. Yeah, you can see it kind of underneath here. There's some weirdness in there. That's an X on the runway, so it's actually closed in this the photos that Bing used. Oh, it's thinking reset button again. DirectX shader, yeah, okay. Yeah, well, X-Plane doesn't use DirectX anymore. It uses Vulkan. But yes, that is generally what Flight Sim uses. I know that. It has for a long time. All right, select shoulder. Actually, I'll just do shoulder lines. Edge line solid. Add. Space these out as much as I can in the straightaways. A little bend here. Oh, okay, we can do that. So the real interesting thing now is with all the PBR texturing that's being done in these, and not just this sim, but X-Plane also. I don't want to make it sound like it's only this sim that does PBR textures, but texturing is not just find a sort of grain that you like and make it the right color thing anymore. It's like you have to put all sorts of lighting specific layers in and stuff to make it so that it has edge maps and I don't even know what a normal map is, or I don't even know what those things are. Edge mapping sounds kind of straightforward in terms of what it actually does, but it's all these things are about how a texture reacts to light, which is what makes these things look so real. Like all the airplanes look really realistic. All the textures, the ground textures and stuff, building textures. So if you want to be able to model a building without using photo textures, which is pretty common now these days, nobody really uses photo textures for these things, then you have to really have to use PBR materials, seems like, texture, so that it actually creates sort of its own lighting physics in the sim, and then your textures will react realistically to light, assuming it's a realistic amount of light. Alright, that edge line's done. Texture with that different color changes is used for details and textures. Okay, so color changes. That makes sense. So it takes what it would otherwise likely be just sort of a solid color, and make some variation to it to make it look a little more realistic. Like, this is obviously not all one color. It's not even this is, I guess, what you would call a normal map, I guess, where it has sort of crack built into it, which I don't think has any depth to it. I don't think there's depth to these cracks. And there's this sort of stupid gravel layer crap that they add onto it. I don't like a lot of the things they're doing here, but it is what it is. All right, clicking Y to yellow, I'm adding a painted line. Let's see if it puts it in correctly this time. There we go. So done something right that time. It's funny, I think a lot of people are using old methods from other sims to build their sort of custom third-party airports that they're charging people money for, and they're getting really everybody's so into these custom textures and like ground textures, because that's the way they've had to do it for years, because you couldn't get something that looked real enough from in the old sims. But this sim, you can basically draw polygons and add textures, layer them in just like a PBR texture inside of the sim. So I think you can. So it's a lot more that, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to add one. It's a lot more that can be done with custom stuff these days. That's what I wanted to do. A little reinforcement for this line here. Keep it out there. Like the materials on the runways, you can layer on as many as you want. You can't do that with aprons. Not yet anyway, at least. I think that has to do with the fact that a runway object is rectangular, perfectly rectangular. There's only 4 vertices, and every single one of them's a 90-degree angle. So it's easier to have control over a texture and place them properly than it is on an apron, which you can have as many vertices and be in any shape, any size that you want it to. Normal map equals depth. Okay. Oh, for heights. Okay. DirectX 9 now. Don't use PBR in DirectX 11 anymore? What do we use? So all these sims like talk about like how, oh, we finally added PBR textures. Like it's a huge upgrade. Is it not that big of an upgrade then? Is it making this thing 2 generations old? Oh, so the graphics engines in these sims are really crappy. Awesome, good to know. Lit and unlit shaders. So how does somebody brand new to this kind of stuff, like myself, how does someone like myself learn that? Like where do I go to get a real good lesson in how to do these things myself? I don't want to be like a game designer, software developer, or anything like that. But I would like to know how to make basic textures. I think I imagine that texturing a building, and for something that is going to be viewed from a kind of like an auto-gen type of building, not something that's going to be like a model for characters to walk in and out of in like a actual like Hollywood movie or something. But something that's going to be viewed from kind of a distance and not really be scrutinized really up close and in any sort of expectation of it looking exactly like a real-world building, like a flight simulator. I'd figured that kind of modeling, like the modeling might be one thing, but modeling and texturing, it's got to be somewhat basic, I would imagine. Right? I mean, it can't be the most complex thing because there's some pretty basic objects. I mean, some buildings and some airports and stuff are kind of funky, but we're not animating like characters for like a Hollywood movie or anything, so it's still just mostly square rectangle pieces. Nice. Looks like they actually kind of married well together. Yeah, they merged. Nice. Oh yeah, man. Come on into the voice channel. Let me unmute it here. Okay. Turn the music down. OpenGL not better. So I think the things that you were talking about though are like reasons why like people who have actually like game design experience with modeling and rendering and modeling and texturing, sorry, like have kind of an advantage when it comes to making these sceneries. Like the I think Flight Beam guys are experienced industry guys before they started doing their sceneries, and they make really really nice stuff, in my opinion. It's kind of the industry like not standard, but the sort of the they set the bar, we'll say, by which all others must try to ascribe. All right. So these right angles here, if you're gonna do if you're just gonna have two lines that have one angle, one 90-degree angle or whatever angle between them, you can do this all in one line, in one painted line. But because this one's gonna be a painted line and then a straight line and then a curved line, I can't really set the line to do the vertices properly to make it where this one is at an angle but the rest of them are curved, so I have to do two lines for this. At least I think I do. Remember, I'm a noob at this, so I haven't really learned it any other way yet. It's just because, man. There we go. So this one I should just be able to click there and go straight up to y'all. Should be pretty darn good. All right. Now this corner, I don't think there's any way to avoid what's about to happen here, so it's gonna look funky in that cross section. Yeah, it's doing the tic-tac-toe thing. There's nothing I can do to avoid that box from creating. Or have at least one line crossing. I don't think. Let's see if we can span all the way to there. Make it look decent still. Ish. Alright, now we have an angle change. A little bit of one here. Very nice. Sephiroth, good afternoon, my man. Welcome to the show. More progress being made, and you were not here earlier when I announced this, but I've finally was able to export this package to this project to a usable package for the community folder, one that you can just slide into your community folder and actually physically load into your sim. So we are getting very close to the point where I'm like, okay, this is Alpha 1. And handing it out to people to test. I consider that to be a closer sort of progress. I know you were saying you wanted to be a tester, so getting close to that being realistic. There he is.
Hello there.
Good to see you today.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm going to make a stream. This is weird. Okay. So about now how DirectX renders materials. We no longer have PBR, which kinda sucks, I know. We now use lit and unlit shaders, which you can kind of imagine like PBR, but they are limited. When you want like a texture, then you use unlit. When you want a texture that's just... Or when you want a normal texture, then you use unlit shaders. When you want to use a texture with a normal map, so depth, you use lit shaders. It's weird, but it's sadly true. I liked PBR shaders more.
So does that mean that for lit objects, you're not actually using textures at all?
For lit objects, you can use textures, so you can still use them, but it's harder than it was. And shader writing in general is now so hard, because usually you would have like a PBR master, and you could control like the texture over it and basically everything. But now you need to like set the UVs. So basically, do you know what UVs are?
No.
So basically, do you know what vertices are?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, UVs are...
Oh, you mean like the wrapping of like the texture around the model?
Basically, you have a UV, and this UV corresponds to one vertex.
Okay.
And then this UV is like a color, and then this texture, when you have a texture, basically you have a mesh, which is just a collection of vertices, and then you have a texture. And let's say you have a cube, and you have a texture. So basically, it's the... Yeah, how can I explain this? The UVs find their corresponding vertex, and then they basically just render it on there, and then they're done with it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, good. Then I don't suck at explaining. I hope.
That was just fine.
Great. But yeah, now we don't have PBR anymore, and it made Unity hard. It made like normal DirectX and C++ hard. I don't know why they removed it. I really don't.
Probably some sort of better performance thing.
Yeah, probably.
Something to do with ray tracing, maybe?
No, ray tracing worked just fine on PBR.
Okay.
What does not work with ray tracing now are unlit shaders. That does not work with ray tracing. And visual effects are now replaced with post-processing. They just got renamed. And again, I don't know why. I don't think Microsoft likes I don't know what it's called in English. I don't think Microsoft likes the text "never change a running system."
Huh.
I think Microsoft just says, hell no, we're going to change it so often that it doesn't work anymore at the end. As you can see with Microsoft Flight Simulator.
It's probably how they get you to buy their latest version of whatever their developing software is.
Yeah. Luckily, it is not like this when it's from Windows. Like, Windows is working fine. I don't know why they made Windows 11. No one really asked for it, but they made it anyway.
Seems to be telemetry related because that's all they talk about now is like, there's all this stuff to track what you're doing, give them more data.
Probably because you then can, probably because more bloatware, more Candy Crush means for them more money.
Yeah.
When I reinstalled Windows on my computer, there was like Candy Crush installed and TikTok, and I was like, why? Get that shit out of here.
Yeah, they have like Skype and everything that downloads automatically. It's like part of the installation.
And Candy Crush. Why Candy Crush? Does anyone play Candy Crush anymore?
Are you talking about Windows 10?
Yes.
So I think when they were developing Windows 10, a lot of people played Candy Crush.
But why? Why bring it into your operating system? Let's get some bloatware in here, shall we?
Yeah, because somebody paid to put it there, probably.
Yeah, why else would they put it there? I can't think of any other reason. I don't think Bill Gates said that like, oh, we are not getting paid for it, but let's add Candy Crush to Windows 10. I think that's a great idea. And it's definitely not going to hurt our user base. Or give anybody brain damage.
I miss the old pinball game that they used to put in with Windows.
Pinball? Wasn't there like pinball on Windows 95? Excel? No, that was where a flight simulator was, right? Windows 95 Excel had a small flight simulator.
Oh.
It was nothing like Microsoft Flight Simulator. There were no planes, no sounds. There was terrain. Terrain, pull up. So you could not crash into terrain, just like the new Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Right.
I still don't understand why not crash animations. X-Plane has those. They're clearly not hard to make.
Well, then they'd have to actually model crashes properly, too.
That does not take long. I mean, you just gotta know where the engines are, and that's it. I mean, not even the ram air turbine is modeled. I bought some packs, some Airbuses, and none of them had ram air turbines modeled. And I asked one of the developers, and he was like, yeah, I wanted to, but Microsoft Flight Simulator makes it so hard to add anything that's not the airplane model itself that it's almost impossible.
Huh.
Yeah, thanks Microsoft. Great idea. Woo! Woo! Great. Make it hard for developers. Why would you make it hard for developers?
Well, I think it's gotten better, since it first came out. I think they've made a lot of improvements for the developer tools. I mean, even just the basic SDK that I'm working in right now has had a lot of improvements since they first came out with it.
Yeah, but when you look at SimConnect, that's like I don't know if you heard of it.
Oh yeah, SimConnect, they've been using that forever.
Yeah, it's like a library for C++, C
Yeah,
Sharp,
it's how you
C.
how you let's interact with the sim variables.
Exactly. It's like from. Did you know Flight Control Replay? Do you know that app?
No.
Yeah, basically it's just you fly, you record it, and then it plays back exactly. And it's also using
Okay.
SimConnect. And I tried using SimConnect. It's actually pretty easy, but you can just not set any variables, you know? You can only read them but not set them. Why make the API when you cannot set variables?
I know they have they have their API for like interacting with weather and everything. I think is supposed to be coming along. That's something they haven't had previously, which is why you don't have any really high-end weather add-ons like you might have found in other sims.
I mean, look at Xplan. Okay, everything costs money there, but the add-ons are actually good, and you can make stuff with it. You can just yeah, okay, Michael Weissman, you can do stuff too. But in X-Plane, you have crash animations. You can make everything. You can even edit airplanes yourself. Like Swiss 001 put rocket engines on a 787, and she shot down a Lockheed Martin from the skies using a 737 from Ryanair. You cannot do that in Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's only one good difference between X-Plane and Microsoft Flight Simulator. Microsoft Flight Simulator has better graphics.
I agree.
But you can get rid of those meh graphics in X-Plane by installing add-ons. Which
Right.
cost money, that's right.
A lot of them.
But, yeah. But, I mean, I already paid $120 for Microsoft Flight Simulator, so I can probably also pay that for X-Plane. I could have invested into X-Plane, but no. Now I have Microsoft Flight Simulator. I mean, I'm happy with it, but I could have done it better.
When X-Plane 12 doesn't have anything anywhere close to the graphics that Flight Simulator has.
Yeah, that's because they're using Vulkan, which does have better performance, but
I just don't think they have the resources to do the streaming textures like they and the cloud computing like they have in Microsoft.
I mean, I tried to do cloud streaming once, and I figured out how Microsoft does it. I don't know if Black Shark is like a sub-company of Microsoft, but if it is, shit. If it's not, they use blackshark.ai. They basically do the entire scenery thing with all the buildings and trees. That's all blackshark.ai.
Okay.
So it's either Microsoft, not Microsoft, I don't know if Microsoft owns Black Shark, but
I think
it costs a lot of money.
Right. I think they're able to use the Microsoft whatever their servers are.
Bing Maps.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're using Bing Maps because that doesn't have like copyright text on it. When you look at Google Maps and you zoom close to the ground, you can see that there's like copyright Google whatever dash whatever. So that sucks.
All right. Edge markings done.
Yeah. You know what? I think it's time to just stop it and go back to Microsoft Flight Simulator X.
Yeah, because that's the answer.
Hello, weather balloon. You know, I'm taxiing back to the runway with a weather balloon. ATC's freaking out. How to taxi to a runway using a hot air balloon. Air traffic controllers hate them. Yeah, it's great. Do they still have hot air balloons on Microsoft Flight Simulator X?
Okay. I'm back.
Hello there. Okay, that was the worst hello that I've ever known. Hello there. Okay, that was it. Never mind. Okay, why does VATSIM have in the middle of flight and control policies? And it goes to error 404 not found.
I don't know.
When you go to the VATSIM website and just click on policies, it goes to error 404 not found. Great. Very professional.
It's another example of someone an organization whose technology has gotten a lot better over the years, but it's still just a volunteer group, pretty much.
Yeah, our technology has gotten better. I mean, it's still shit, but it's better shit. Better shit than last year.
Their new engine for update for like location data and stuff is really good especially compared to what it used to be.
Is it though?
Well,
that is the question.
They went from updating position every 5 seconds to now updating it every 5 times every 1 second. So it's a pretty good change.
I can do that.
Well, it's easy if you create like direct connections between everybody's PCs. It's pretty easy to do. But
I mean, I could just have a node server running and... Okay, I got a new project. Remake VATSIM. But made by an idiot. AKA me.
Well, considering how long it took them to change their system, I'm sure that there's probably 3 generations of better stuff that they could use now. But
just didn't connect.
They tried to do it. They do it cheap. They try to do it on the cheap. They're using free resources as much as they can. I know that. I don't know who they use for voice servers now, but they used to use Live ATC or the same. Yeah, it was Live ATC for all their voice rooms.
And I bet now they're using like Discord. Like have a invisible Discord client running in the background, just a bunch of voice channels. But that would suck. I can do that better. I know how to do voice chat. Is it good voice chat? No. But it's voice chat.
Well, we want good voice chat. We don't want bad voice chat.
Yeah, I bet I can update that. Comes in the next update in 2029. Go support me. Donate $10 billion to get one pencil.
The original I don't know if it was the original, but when they used a program called VRC for air traffic control on VATSIM. They used that for a long time. That was the client that you used when you were an air traffic controller. It didn't matter if you were a tower controller or a radar controller. Everybody used VRC. There was different modes that you could use it under. And it used to have a built-in voice server function where you could communicate directly to the other controllers that were online. And it had like an override function and everything, which they don't have in any of this stuff anymore. Everybody just uses Discord or TeamSpeak to do all that.
Do you in air traffic control towers use Discord?
Is it what?
Do you guys in the tower use Discord?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You're a ATC. You should know that.
Well, yeah. I mean, we use direct. It's all direct communication over fiber lines and stuff.
Okay.
It's actually kind of interesting. We have different kinds of communication lines. We have direct lines, we have dialed lines, which are kind of like phone lines, and all sorts of different stuff. But and it all gets messed up anytime they dig in the ground for anything. So they cut cables.
Okay. Wait a second. I'll be right back.
Alright guys, continuing on, we're on to Taxiway Echo's little cutout for it's the newer styled taxiway markings. So this one has edges, edge lines that I'm drawing right now, and also hash marks. And I can already tell that one of the problems I'm going to run into is the fact that these lines in real life are much wider than the ones I'm painting. I don't know, much wider is maybe an overstatement, but definitely tell there's some discrepancy. Be some overlap underneath. Underlap? What that is under?
Okay, I'm back.
Underlap a word? Hey.
Did you play on VATSIM?
Do I use VATSIM?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
As an ATC or pilot?
I used to be an ATC before I became a real world ATC. I don't do it anymore because I don't know. It's not as appealing when it is also your job to be an air traffic controller to come home and play air traffic control. But every time I fly on the network, I'm always flying on VATSIM.
Okay, so I tried VATSIM a long time ago, or like in 2021, and I did my first flight, and I did it well, except when I landed and the ATC told me to get off the runway, and I completely missed where she told me to go. And then I was like, okay, Alt F4, that's embarrassing. But I had way too much airspeed, so I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, if you're not, it takes a while to get used to what the expectations are under the air traffic control system. If you're not used to it, and it takes real pilots a long time to get used to that. Also, I have an advantage about when I got my private pilot's license. I was already an air traffic controller, so I knew exactly what was going on at all times and what was expected to be said and what I was expected to do. But most pilots don't.
And how do I get an ATC on VATSIM?
How do you become an ATC on VATSIM?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on where you want to do it. There should be a website for whatever air.
That's VATSIMGermany.org.
Okay, yeah. So that they should have how to become an ATC somewhere on their website.
Yeah, there it is. Controllers, first step. Yes.
I'll be right back.
VATSIM new member orientation test. There's a test. In Germany, they use TeamSpeak for their voice engine. But why? I didn't use TeamSpeak in a long time. Oh. What?
Whoop.
I have
This
to
is gonna be.
register
This is a mistake.
again?
This isn't gonna work, buddy. I don't think we can make this work. All right, you gotta go on. All right, I'm back.
Hello there.
Had to take care of the kids for a second.
The kids. Your 3-year-old girl? Or-
Three-year-old girl's taking a nap, and this is the 1-year-old is right behind me. I wanted to put him up on my lap for a little bit, but he just reaches and tries to pound on the keyboard and everything every chance he gets. He's always leaning forward, and I'm afraid that he's going to slip and hit his head on the desk or something like that, so he doesn't get to sled up here.
Poor kid. She
He's-
just wanted to go to I don't know, 100% working money glitches IRL.com.
Okay.
.freesites.com. .net. .edu. .ru.
.to.
Yeah, perfect. .gov. .de. Boom. Perfect.
All right.
And there you have to enter your social security number, your credit card number, your CVC, and your credit card PIN, and then you receive minus $1 million per second. But the minus is so small you cannot see it. Perfect disguise.
Sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Pretty good deal. Yep. I'm constantly getting money away from my account because my 1-year-old registered me on this website. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't register on those websites because I kind of want to live and not get killed by a hitman because I ended my social security number. We in Germany don't even have a social security number.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we don't have it.
Do you have some sort of a tax identification number?
Not, yeah, kinda. So I don't know it exactly, but we have like, mm, yeah, it's like kind of like a social security number, except that's just a number where our name is, nothing more. It's just a number corresponding to our name, and that's it.
Okay, that's about the same thing then.
Isn't in America like that equals to your address, your credit card information?
No, it's not really linked to those things. But because you give like credit card companies your social security number, like anybody that searches for your social security number will be able to see all the places that you've lived.
And where are you living right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, see? So if you enter your social security number, you are basically dead. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. That's so mad that song was copyrighted. But it's fine. You probably didn't even hear it in stream. It's fine. And I can no longer log into my VATSIM account. That's great. This is fine. What is my VATSIM ID?
I don't know, just put your social security number in.
Ah, yes, perfect. And they're like, yo, why did that guy put such a long number in there? Let me look it up on socialsecuritynumberlookup.com. Holy shit!
Watch the language.
Holy Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's about right. Just put in your social security number, it's fine. It's also going to be fine when you just send me your credit card information. It's fine. Nothing can go wrong, right?
Well, our social security numbers are like directly linked to our credit scores.
Can
Because
you read your credit card information from that?
no, you can't read it from your social security number, but that's the social security number is just your identification for. It's just the number that identifies you and makes you different than everybody else, basically.
Somebody gets your social security number, could you like impersonate you? Like, could you just
Yeah.
be in the eyes of the state? Could you just be you? In the eyes of the state? Could you just be you?
Well, I mean, the government wants
Could you like
to know
do
everything about you all the
purchases?
time, so I don't know why they would want to do whether they would want to have any other system.
Yeah, I don't know what it would have.
But it's called a social security number because it was originally created to directly link to the benefits that you're supposed to get when you become old, which is the social security system. And now it's just a number that identifies you everywhere. But it's a unique number that everybody has, so when they're born, everybody's given that number. And there's not any other system like that that's used for identifying people, so that's why everybody wants their social security number. But yeah, if somebody else gets it, you're in big trouble.
Imagine I'm like making purchases on Amazon for like unicorn plushies for you under your social security number. And the state is like,
Hey,
okay,
you're
what
not
did you
supposed to.
buy?
Nobody's supposed to know about my unicorn plushies.
What? Okay. Good to know. I'm going to write that down into my book about things that I know about random people on the internet. Write my pencil. Wait. I'm not going to do writing ASMR. You know that?
Okay, I think I'm done with edge marking.
Okay, you cannot. I wrote it down. Now everybody knows. You have a unicorn plushie.
A collection.
Oh, okay. Okay, then I gotta. He has a unicorn plushie collection. Breaking news.
Nice. Looks pretty good.
Put in the chat. In your YouTube chat. Ah, crap, I wrote it wrong. Whole Microsoft Flight Simulator, I wrote it wrong. Now there's a better version.
There you go.
What
I'm
was
not a
wrong with your-
YouTuber.
I just fixed it. You're an Uber. This looks like pretty correct for American standards. Breaking news. That's how they do the titles, right?
What? How do you say YouTuber in German? It's like Uten Tuten Gluber or something like that.
You fucking do.
Uten Tutenhagen.
You do hard understand. We just say YouTuber.
Oh, YouTuber.
Idiots say it like that, but we normally say YouTuber.
It has to have a proper German pronunciation. It can't be just YouTuber.
It's just YouTuber because it's not a word in the dictionary. But actually, the last two things are actually correct in German grammar.
Okay.
Gruber. But that's actually like tube glue.
Nice.
Obviously Ross said YouTube glue. Perfect. Dude, we need to make that a thing. Now. Oh, great. Just amazing. The International Online Aviation Network. Why does that look like GitHub? Okay.
Is that IVAO or whatever it is?
What?
Is that VATSIM you're talking about?
Yeah, the VATSIM main page looks like GitHub's main page. It's like very similar.
Alright, let's see. What is next?
Okay, how do I become? Hello. I wish to become a ATC.
Alright, light time. Oh, we're gonna have some fun here. Let's see. So
I've
go
done my
to
social
object
security number.
types. Object types. We want a light row. Little guy's got the hiccups.
What do you mean these credentials do not match our records? That is exactly what I entered.
All right. So has vertice snap to vertices for these lights, and we got 2 basic taxiway lights.
I have a question.
Okay.
Because in YouTube you are not allowed to swear. And what's like the...
You can swear. You just have to. You just have to kind of say that it's like meant for 18 and older only.
Yeah, I mean like for the stream you're doing right now. What would... I just wrote something in the voice channel text chat. What would be the equivalent of that? Would it be... Yeah, what would be the equivalent of that? I'm not going to say it out loud because I'm not trying to get in any trouble, but what would be the equivalent of that?
I'm not sure I follow you.
Okay, I'm
All
just
right.
going to DM it to you.
Right.
What is the equivalent of that for this stream? Like, what can I say? Which basically means that in this stream.
You can say stinking.
And what about screwing? Like
That doesn't really have the same meaning. Like in the literal sense it does, but the F-bomb is a different word now. Alright, gotta try to figure out how to make these lights
what
turn
about
around.
flipping?
Flipping is okay too, I think.
Yeah, okay, then I'm just going to use that instead.
Or you could avoid the adjective altogether and just say the next word and leave out the flipping word.
God.
That's what I prefer.
God damn it.
No, don't say that either, please.
Great. You are not allowed to swear on YouTube. That's to everybody watching.
You can
You
can definitely swear on YouTube. I just would prefer you don't do that on my channel.
Exactly. Don't write bad words in the chat. That's bad. It's bad and I'm going to come find you. Wait, isn't that illegal? Yeah, I'm not very familiar with American rules. And I just realized my microphone was really loud. Is it better?
It's better now, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, yellow and white for runway lights.
Volume.
Select mesh. Let's see, we want to go down to
And I
FS
only have it
base.
like on a quarter.
Search for taxi, light, white, yellow. There we go. Use that mesh. Let's add a light. Unidirectional. Add another light. Unidirectional.
There are 112 ATCs on VATSIM right now.
No fade. The light in one direction. It's going to be that color. Light in the other direction is going to be, say, white for now. Alright, so now we select this object and make it a
really
runway
hurts?
edge,
And you
runway
lose,
yellow white
a
light.
project that you've been working on for very long.
I'm sorry, say that again, I
And
missed it.
It really hurts when you make a project that you spend a long time making and it just doesn't work, or you lose it.
Oh, I already lost it
hurts.
once.
Yeah, that's what happened to me yesterday. Do you know what a game jam is?
A game what?
A game jam.
No.
It's like a competition for developers where they all make game in a time period, they become a theme, and like there's a challenge, and the best game wins. Like that's it. That means you make a game with a theme, and the best game wins.
Okay.
And I made a game for that, no? So I was in a game jam, 2 days time. So I started, and then when I wanted to upload it, the itch.io servers were struggling. And guess what? I did not have time to upload it. The deadline was over, and I was like, oh bloody hell. Because I spent 2 days doing that. 2 days. For nothing. At the end, it turned out I would have won. That's great. But why though? Authorize. I don't understand. Look in the chat what someone wrote.
This is the handsomest Snare 17 you will ever see. That's me. Whether that makes anybody else happy or not is another question.
Did work.
All right, yellow on this side.
I have to make this
white on this side. Okay, so we got lights that will be yellow in different directions and things. That's a nice thing. So now I just need to figure out how to do this.
Speed through this.
Click on the light object has, so now if I do has heading and I make it 046 degrees, it's going to turn it so that I don't see the lights. Yeah, there we go. Now it's in line. I made it at 90-degree angles. All right. So I want to undo that in the presets, make it 0 and 180.
How do I take the test? There it is.
That is a very good question.
There it is. New member rating. How do I? Hello? Oh, it's so complicated. It's a website.
Apparently 0 doesn't work.
Aviation knowledge.
How about 360? Nope.
New member orientation course. German is not listed.
I think I see what I did. Okay,
Uh-huh. Yes, I accept.
So 180 and minus 180. There we go. So we got yellow one way, white the other way. What's up, Music Freaks? Freak 90. Welcome to the stream. Like and subscribe, everybody that's watching. If you haven't already, please. We're doing tons of this kind of content. It's pretty fun, and the flying is going to come very soon, because I'm at the point where this airport is usable, darn near usable. All right, yellow that way, and we spin around, white that way. That's what I've been going for. Okay. So that being said, back to daytime. Oh, I
fly with good flight rules. I need I for VFR.
Alright, so if I click
That's my
on
book.
this and say it doesn't have a heading,
I'll be right back.
look at it this way.
Whatever.
Huh.
I have a question about air traffic controllers.
Okay.
Um, like in old times, or I don't know if that's the question. Like air traffic controls were like in a shelter, I don't know, or like underground without any windows. So the tower. Like, what do you guys, when you go into approach or ground, do you sit like in a small building without any windows or with limited windows?
Yeah, when we work approach control, we're in a dark room.
Why?
It makes it easier to see the radar screen.
But you're not alone down there, right?
No.
That's good to know. Else, I would probably not become a air traffic controller.
Oh.
Because I'm afraid of the dark.
It's not that dark.
You just said it's dark.
Well, yeah, it's a dark room, but there are lights. It's just dimly lit. It's not super bright.
That's already bad enough.
I guess.
This code is banned from the VATSIM network. That's a question I have about VATSIM. Like, there's this add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator called rand failures that like puts random failures on your aircraft. With a percentage chance there may be no failures, there may be an engine failure. Like, why are failures banned on VATSIM?
It's a good question.
Nobody would like say, "Oh my God, I'm at home and have my throttle. Oh my God, behind me is a person with a gun. I'm getting hijacked." Like nobody would do that. But engine failures can be fun in the flight simulator. I just realized I sound like a psychopath when I say that.
So I think the reason that they don't do that is because they're like, if in the real world, if you had like an engine failure or something like that, some sort of a big emergency where you had to land, then it would technically shut down the runway that you were landing on until a fire truck was able to come out and inspect it and do all sorts of things like that. So if you want to simulate stuff like that, well, there's other players that want to use the network also who don't want to wait for you to get the runway shut down. So they usually just don't do stuff like that because they don't want you to assume that you can just have an emergency crash and shut down the entire airport just because you're simulating a crash. So just because you're simulating something doesn't mean everybody else you can force everybody else to simulate it also. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, but like for the most realistic experience, it would be pretty good to have. When you like really want the maximum experience, the maximum realism, maximum energy. Whoever gets this joke, hello there.
Are you quoting Obi-Wan?
Huh?
Hello there.
Maybe. But he said it differently. He said like, hello there. Yeah, I'm not good at
where do
impersonating people.
How do I do this?
I actually just started seeing because of memes. You know, I wanna stay hip with the kids. Gotta get those hoops, and yeah, I
There we
just
go.
watch a
That's
lot
the
of
rotation
memes
I needed.
because I don't know. That looks good.
Alright, so one gets it to not face straight up and down.
Did you saw
Gets it to
that
face
guy
down or
in
back.
American TV where he just
Then
dropped two F-bombs after
this third one is the degrees
like two
around the
F-bombs? Did you see that?
y-axis here. I did not.
You did not. Yeah, you gotta see that. You can find everyone on YouTube just guy on TV dropping F-bombs. Like he doesn't care at all.
Okay. That's good. Unidirectional lighting. Figured out. Solved.
In an old class of mine, where it's a guy named Victor, and you thought he was so important because he was in the phonetic alphabet.
Okay, so
Yeah,
now
I don't know why. He thought it.
take this object and drag it over here. So we're gonna go on a trip all the way across the airport. See how poorly the sim is translating across the airport at this point. It's jaggedy. It's gross. All these things.
No, wait. I don't want to take the test yet. I need to write down the phonetic alphabet.
So now you may ask, well, how do you rotate this? Well, so you go up and you click E, then you get the little rotation widget, and you turn it. Oh, is there a way to do it 90 degrees here, people? Alright, so undo. Let's go to the view gizmo. I want to rotate. That's what I want to do.
I am ready. Show me.
I don't know. Okay, let's just delete this. I'm taking the easy way out. Okay, so lights.
Do you think I will pass the P0 test?
Probably not.
Thanks, that was very helpful. Now I am going to make it perfectly. I'm going to make it perfectly so I can prove you wrong.
That would be good. I recommend you proving me wrong.
I'm going to make 90% minimum.
Alright, let's turn some edge lights on.
If it would show the
Edge lights on high.
prompt again.
The Flugro-Simulator?
Wie bitte?
Is that what you guys need?
Sorry, I switched to German. What?
Exactly.
Yeah, when you talk to me like only one word on German, my brain gets confused and I start to talk German. Yeah, don't do that.
Don't try to talk German. It's terrible.
Yeah, German isn't the best language. It's not the most spoken language. I can say it like that. Ooh, there's an online map. I didn't need that spy. Oh, that's great. Chewy? Who is Chewy?
You don't know who Chewy is?
P3D, Dutch P3D pilot. No, I don't.
So,
And
he's
who's
a big
Ark
Twitch
NJ?
guy.
Which guy? Wow, that really... that summed it up perfectly. It's not like I asked because it stood there. No, I don't want popular, but give me back my Twitch streamers. Hello? Anyway, can I please take the test? I'm not just going to use inspect element to show that prompt again. Yes, I'm ready.
Do
Take
it.
the test. An altimeter. The flying so I can use the altitude. I'm flying on the IFR on the network is flight of now about 500 recommended. Beef are true or false. What? Flying IFR network is required of an IFR flight plan path. And recommended to have a view of flight plan applying. False. That's not true. That's the proper response to standby. What is the proper response for standby? It's Roger, right?
Yeah.
What does the word Roger mean in VHS? Oh, I'll proceed. I will comply. To given instruction, I confirm the information you gave me is correct. I will comply with the given instruction. What I see. That's the approach. Complying. Flying up also filing an appropriate IFR plan. Flying IFR, you should have an IFR flight plan. Unicom is a common frequency that pilots use in unknown airports. That's true. Yes. ATC stands for Air Transit Command. Definitely.
Maybe in some countries.
I swear if that's true. All filed flight plans are retained in the system for, until activated, 1 hour? And flying VFR pilots are required to maintain their own what? What are they required to retain? Navigation, separate from air traffic, separation from access and terrain. All of them. When flying VFR, you still have contact to ATC, right? I think so. All of the above. only my KGSO commands, so I should be at the end. According to the top-down traffic and airports, our controller signed on a long close switch ATC position. Hour? We can equip them. There is a supported pilot plans and simulators well on VATSIM and ATC control. I guess true. In which position is this circuit? All crosswind base. Flying around. Standing same procedures, true, false, false. Finished exam. And did I pass? Damn it. 60%? What was wrong? What? That is not true. I have... The hell? Oh, lucky puppy. When can I take the next test? I would like to take the test again. I think I broke it. No, I wanna... Okay. Yes, definitely. VATSIM basics. You remember our orientation course. English. I'm just going to stay at the screen and wait until I don't have any more time. User agreement. I don't care about your user agreement. Broken. Yeah. Why? Can I not take the test anymore? Okay. I guess I need to wait. Amazing. And I wanted to prove you wrong, but I couldn't.
It's hard. I failed it the first time too.
Oh well, I guess it's not too bad. If a real air traffic controller fails this test, I guess this test is pretty hard.
Yeah, it's not a very good test. Let's just say that.
Why? Why would they make it bad?
It's a very good question. I don't know why they
Okay,
would, but they did.
Okay, I guess they did use... I guess they do use TeamSpeak for their communication, which is bad. But come on, at least make the test good. If you don't make that good, make the test good. You are streaming since 2 hours. That's a long time.
Yeah, getting a lot of work done.
I can see that. That runway looks good in the dark.
It's got 2 sets of lights on it right now.
But it still looks good.
Why is it still showing me 2 sets of lights? Oh, I see.
I think it's pretty stupid that you had that when you save your project you cannot open it anymore in FL Studio. I think that's dumb. Like, make a good software, but then make it bad. That's what it is. And now quick training with David how to make a lo-fi hip-hop song. Add rain and you're done.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally all I did. I had some piano and some
That's just some
sick
hiss.
beats. Some sick beats.
Some sick beats, dude.
Yeah, add like dubstep music to that. Like Night Killer Underground. Sick beats. Boomf. Which kick should I use? That's a very good question. I think I'm going to use the Dreams Lo-Fi Kick 1. Yes. Rename that to Lo-Fi Kick. Purple. I need some snares. Snare 17, I need some
Exactly.
snares. You cannot make a hip-hop song without snares. Make that a statement. That is the worst snare I've ever heard. I guess I'll just use this one. Oh yeah, that sounds good. I guess I am still doing a lo-fi hip-hop song, so I should probably use the lo-fi snares. I use that. That sounds good. Lo-fi snare. So you used to play the drums?
I still do.
Still do. Great.
So sometimes I start the stream with a pair of drumsticks in my hands, playing some air drums.
Yeah, I see that. Sometimes you do that.
All
Turn
right.
the BPM down to 90 BPM.
All right. I got yellow lights at the end of the runway now.
Great.
What happened to the music?
Yeah, I'm getting the groove. That's good.
All right. Feel free to comment, everybody who's in the room checking it out. Just figured out how to do the two-sided lights finally.
Why am I doing lo-fi hip-hop if I could
So you
just
get the
do
white lights leading into yellow lights. And then as you
me, I
flip
guess.
around the other side, they're white lights again.
I guess I'm going to make dubstep now.
Oh. And on the other side, they're yellow.
Yikes.
Turn around, they're white. On the other side, they're yellow. That's the effect you're going for. Last 2,000 feet, you want yellow lights. So now, going to go back to daytime here. Start laying some lights down on this side. And let's see, figure out where that break was. Hey, Sandra, that's enough. Mommy's home. All right, 5-year-old's home.
Yes, put that in there. Because that's how professionals do it. I think so.
Like a chirping parrot here for a while. Yeah, she's having a great time.
I need to reverse that. Only that one. Yikes. That's even worse.
Ah, the boy is home. All right, placing light row. Adding. Go. This will be of type yellow white. Snapped vertices shall be selected. Oh, there it is. To actually select the vertices first, and boop. Boop. Let's get a little down a little closer. We can get a little
That's good.
finer with this here. Boop. This is where it gets interesting because this next light, which I think is located there, is embedded. So we can't do that one on a stand. So I'm going to skip that one. Come down to here. Boop. All right, watch it. That came over on the stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why does it come over? Did I put that there?
Have to edit that out in
Okay,
post-production.
We're going to say no.
All the lights for that section but one. This one right here are in, so we won't put a light there.
I'm very child friendly.
I will add another one. This is white, white.
Who am I kidding?
White on both sides. Skipping that one, skipping that one. There we go.
Like that more. Then put that button. Bit of fade in.
This next one is embedded.
More volume. I said more volume. The crossfade in here. Yes. Again, I'm very child friendly. I'm going to make, and I decided to make some lo-fi hip hop. Don't ban me. You guys are professionals to it. Volume down. That's loud. That's because I have full volume. Okay. Mixer.
Another embedded, actually 2 more embedded lights.
Volume down.
I'm sorry, this is not what you're hoping for. In fact, it's pink.
It's not my idea to produce stinky children.
I'm really sorry because I did not know that would like transmit over.
Oh, that's okay.
I did not expect that. I didn't knew Discord would do that. I thought like it only was when I like shared my screen, but no, seemingly no. Seemingly Discord is like, no, I don't like you. I'm going to transmit that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not lo-fi hip-hop.
I know, you've been sitting on your body all day. You've done a really good job with that, Cassie.
What's loud? How do you think that sounds right now?
I don't hear anything.
You don't? Why did it transmit that? Why?
Man.
Alright, so
Why
down
did
the
it
end.
transmit that
Yellow on that
once,
end.
but not a second time? That makes absolutely no
Yellow
sense.
on that end. Good.
Now?
Nope, don't hear it.
Okay. Well, I guess Discord does not like me anymore.
She's being silly and Fred.
Why was it the first time though? Oh. Oh well. Exactly. When I make music that might actually fit the stream, it doesn't transmit. But when I play a sound file, which is not supposed to stream, it streams. It's just great. Applause for Discord. They did a great job.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Absolutely just great.
Having some fun. I didn't have vertice snaps turned on.
That does not fit at all.
Look.
At least we got the rain. Rain stuff. Let's get some snares in here. Snares can't be bad. Right? Snare 17 should know that.
Gotta have more
Oh my
cowbell.
God. This sounds like a machine gun. Ow, my ears! Ow! That really hurt me. Ow! And snares be so loud. I think to turn the microphone a bit up.
Just make sure that I got the models on the right side. I do. All right.
What am I
Double-sided
saying?
lighting.
Your bird?
Give me some kicks. Alright. There they are.
And a little bit,
Yeah.
yes. Body.
Hi.
Hello.
Alright.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Makis?
What's going on, everyone? What you got going on, big snare?
Just been doing the last couple hours, a little scenery stuff. If you're looking to get a game going, I'm in. I could use a break.
Oh yeah, baby, I'm fired up.
Good to see you. How was your weekend?
It was excellent as always, man. I can't complain. I'm really just blessed and grateful and happy, man. That's really all it comes down to, man.
Is your family out of town now? They're gone now? Or?
So yep, I saw some family. They came in. It was great. Got to see them. Planning for my cousin's wedding. I'm really excited about that. They said that all my cousins are doing great. They looked great. They're just the happiest couple, man. They've been together for as long as I can remember. Bro.
Oh, nice.
Just you know, and I'm 36 years old, so I'm sure they've been married for at least 20 plus years now, man. And they have 5 kids together.
Wow.
And they're just still super happy, bro. Still super happy. They got 4 daughters and 1 son, and they're just the happiest couple, and all their kids are doing well and making something of themselves. You know, I just couldn't be prouder of them. And I'm excited for my wedding, this wedding. So, super excited.
All
What
right.
do you got going on? How's the airport looking?
Oh, phenomenal. It's actually looking like
Yeah?
an airport now.
Get out of town. How was your weekend? What did you do?
Well, we took the kids to the water park on Saturday,
Very nice. There you go.
so they got a little bit of
Was
exposure
it
there.
packed? Was it packed?
No, it was actually kind of stormy, so we actually left. There was
Oh.
like the lifeguards heard storm, like a thunder in the distance or something,
Yeah.
so they had made everybody get out.
Aw.
And like just as we got it back inside, it started pouring rain. So
Oh man. All right. Well, at least you got your couple hours, hopefully a few hours before it started pouring on you.
yep, we got a little bit of time in, so just enough too.
Perfect.
These little
the
kids
people
can't
that
take.
just walked in were probably devastated.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Our little kids can't be there all day, you know.
Right, right.
We were there for about 2 hours, and that was a perfect amount for them. I think.
more than sufficient.
Yeah.
You know?
So we did that on Saturday. I actually ended up working overtime from 4 to midnight on Saturday night, so I was a little cut short on the weekend. But then yesterday was a lot of church stuff. The kids started their Bible school
Oh, I'm so proud.
last night, and
That's
they have
awesome.
that through Thursday. So
That's cool, man. Good
so,
stuff.
yeah, so just me and the 1-year-old get to chill for a couple hours when they go to that again
Oh,
tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm off today and tomorrow, so I
Okay.
a little bit of time off, time to
Let's
chill.
get some gaming done. What do you say?
Let's do that. All right, I'll cut the.
Oh my God, Jail Guard became a pro hitman. Oh my God, why? Why, dude? Did I tell you? Oh, I can't even tell you. There's children around, but I was gonna tell you a funny story.
We'll save it for off stream. I'll close
Mm-hmm.
this thing up and we'll get going.
Yep.
All right, everybody. This is where we're gonna call it today. Mission accomplished. We got all this taxiway markings done.
I got into some of my old accounts too, Snare. I got into my old Steam account.
Good. Good.
But I don't know if I got to get in there and see if there's anything worthwhile in there. Maybe a game or two, to be honest.
Good luck with that. All right, so we got the
that's cool.
the lighting.
And
The lighting's already in for taxiways. Edge markings done. We got the runway markings done. The runway lighting done on this runway. This is the only runway that has accurate lighting. This is 2-3 right, 5 left. It's got with double-sided lights at the end. The last 2,000 feet has yellow.
You make music?
Yeah, if you
And,
haven't already, go check out King Macus.
Oh yeah, this is you two would get along great in this respect because our buddy here is he's a budding he's actually working on making some lo-fi hip hop music right now, I think is what I'm saying.
Really cool, man. That's so fun.
Yeah, except when like FL Studio crashes and you haven't saved in 2 hours.
Oh yes, that's one of the biggest banes of my existence, dude. Not saving my work. So every once in a while, pro tip: just save at random.
I just did that right now. Thank you for reminding me. Always save.
Yeah, so FL Studio, I didn't know if it was prone to crashes. Ableton definitely, because it's so resource heavy. And then I think the most stable platform I've used and one of the funnest and easiest is GarageBand.
GarageBand, yeah, that sucks
Yeah.
because I'm on Windows.
Yeah, I know. You can get an emulator, I think. Don't ask me how. It's possible to run
I
iOS
tried to emulate
on-
macOS, or I tried to emulate macOS on VMware, QEMU, VirtualBox. Nothing worked.
Like
Just
Hackintosh.
didn't work.
Yeah, Hackintosh. You could probably figure it out there. I can't. That's
I've built a couple. The problem is they're so unstable that you do like any update comes
Right.
out or any, and all your stuff crashes.
So what I really want to get is a Mac laptop just to make music on. I'm not even joking. And other media, because Macs are just really good with any media.
Oh, yeah.
Any artistic media, it's just really good. Good
So-
sound on Apple.
You know what's a
Great
good
sound.
cost-effective
developers needed to make
a good cost-effective app option is a Mac Mini actually.
Yes, right. Getting something right. Small. But those are expensive stills there. Like
Not as expensive as laptops.
Right, true. GarageBand does come on the iPhone too. I mean, obviously
on the
you
iPads,
can't-
yeah.
iPhone, but I don't
Yeah,
want to make music
it's
on it.
limited.
It's such a small
Mhm.
screen.
Right, it's
I'm a
very
pro-
very difficult to move around, very difficult to manipulate things.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no right click, there's no right clicking, so it's even harder.
I have an iPad Pro, so I could do like a mouse and keyboard with it. And then I have the
Yeah.
pen too, so that's a
Yep.
little bit different, and GarageBand is a little
I've
bit
done
different on the
that,
Mac
though.
Pro.
I've run mouse and
On the
that's what I do.
iPad
Yep.
Pro. Yeah.
You got it. If there's a will, there's a way. I definitely want to invest in a Mac though, if I ever have the extra money lying around.
The funny thing is, I tried so many softwares for making music. I tried Ableton Live. I tried FL Studio.
Yeah.
I'm using FL Studio right now. I tried Cubase. I tried everything. My father makes
Reaper.
music too.
Yeah.
What's Reaper?
Reaper is an open software platform. So it's free to use.
Can you DM me the download link? It already sounds amazing.
Yeah, I could look it up for you. But this was the last time I heard people using it was only like a few years ago. I don't know if that's now, poo-pooed on or whatever. Like, I don't know if that's like trendy to
I have
use.
two questions.
But I definitely know it's live. Let me see. Reaper music.
I have two questions.
Go for
Can
it.
you make lo-fi hip hop music with it? And can you make dubstep music with it?
Oh, all right. So dubstep is like completely different. That I
know.
probably would want Ableton to make. And then As far as lo-fi, most programs should be able to make lo-fi hip hop. Here it is. Reaper came up, the very first audio production without limits. Reaper is a DAW MIDI sequence. Here, I'll send it to you. I'll just open links.
DAW is Digital Audio Workshop. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yep. Workstation.
Workstation, yeah.
Digital audio workstation. Yep. So copy link address. Link.
So we got
This is another one, but again, I think there's parts where you can pay and stuff. Like I don't.
I'm gonna
know
turn these
every in
guys
and out.
down.
I have used it briefly.
There we go. So you guys can't hear them anymore. I can still hear them, but you guys can't hear them. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for coming in and taking a look. We got a lot of really good work done with this today, including the important things, which are in the title. The taxiway markings all the way down, up and down here. And we got the lighting for the runway, the double-sided lighting fixed, working appropriately. I think we've made some good strides there. So there's a whole lot of good stuff happening. We're getting down to some detail work now. I still have been avoiding doing all this taxiways and aprons on the outside of the outer ring of the airport. So I've got to start getting to that. But we're moving right along. We're learning all the new techniques and how all the objects work and how the lighting settings and everything work. So we're able to make some pretty good product from here on out, I think. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. For all those who liked and subscribed, thank you so much. If you have made it to the end of this video, you're watching it after the stream fact, and please do like and subscribe also. And I will be glad to see you in the future on one of our streams or in the comments section. If you have any questions about anything you saw here today, anything you'd like to see that I haven't done yet or maybe need to work on, something I'm not doing right that you know how to do better, let me know. And that'll just make everybody a little bit better at this, I think. So thank you so much for joining. Until the next time, take care of yourself. God bless.
Are you inviting?